The things I really care about are teaching and the humanities. And the two things that I care most about in the humanities are really sort of gender and sexuality studies. And so I really, love being in a, community where there's a lot of talking about ideas. And that's really what brought me to do what I do. I really care about literature. I've always loved reading and books, and so I kind of want to share that with others. I have one great story of failure that sort of motivated some of my work later, and that is actually a bad grade, or what I thought was a bad grade, a not so stellar grade I got on a master's thesis that I wrote back in Germany on Oscar Wilde. And so I was destroyed, for about a week, and was really, really sad. But then I also noticed, the more I thought about it and the more I took the critique to heart, I was actually noticing that I really just completely disagreed with him. And that wasn't so much about me failing completely, but about an honest disagreement. And so the tenacity that came out of that, because I felt that I was right in what I was doing, actually helped me kind of, it basically became the basis for my PhD and then my first book. The openness to critique, but then also deciding if you think you're right to really just go for it. And that was the basis for a lot of the work that I do today in gender studies. So one of the things that I've become very interested recently, partly because I'm motivated by humanities, trying to bring humanities to the world a little bit more, is the use of what we call digital pedagogy. So the use of actual digital tools in the classroom, but I'm not talking about MOOCs. I'm actually talking about the use of blogs and social media and actual outreach to the public, so that the students feel that the work that they do in the classroom is not just their own work, and they don't just do it for the teacher or for themselves, but they actually try to contribute to a democratic conversation. And that, of course, can be global. And the way that I think about course design has to do with this idea that we can't just be in the classroom for ourselves and kind of become better at what we do. That's great, but what about actually changing society? And it's a great motivational tool, but it's also just something that just makes so much sense. Why are we here? Why are we learning so many things if we just keep them to ourselves? And so that is actually really, really core belief that I have about education, that academia, that it shouldn't just be there by itself and exist for itself, but also for other people. For somebody like me who studies the past, 19th century especially, I know that things have changed a lot since then. So that makes it doubly, sort of important to realize this idea of the changeability of human knowledge and changeability of community. And so I think a lot of us, because we know that, also have a lot of hope that things can be changed. Especially those of us working in social justice issues, in education, but also in other sectors. We just have this perpetual hope and this optimism that because things have changed in the past, and because things can be different in other countries, that we can change them right here, right now as well, and that we can also convince others to do that. So I guess it's just that perspective, that knowledge that things don't have to be this way, because they can be different.